Batman and Robin, issue 28, legacy number 94, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing with Stefano Raphael on the art. So, different artist than normal, not FICO OSSIO. I think that's who was on the art previously.
I believe so as well.
Yeah. So this one's got a twist at the end, which we build up to. It's a fun twist as well, because it's like, of course, this is something we could have seen coming, but we will get to it.
The way that the twist unfolds made me yell "what the hell" twice, to where my wife laying in bed next to me goes, what's going on? I'm like, oh, Batman, don't worry about it. Like, I'm reading this, but yeah, oh man, what a fun series of twists and turns in this one.
Yeah, so the whole thing with this issue is that obviously the last issue ended with like Two-Face and Penguin's men finding Wesker, right? Finding the ventriloquist. And here we have our man here receive a note, right? He's looking for Penguin, but instead of Penguin, he finds this TV screen where Penguin says, hey, you're looking for the ventriloquist, Quiet Man, here. This is the address. Off you go. Yep. Leave us alone. So, Batman and Robin, Batman's going to interrogate Two-Face and try and find out what the hell happened with this guy's son and why this guy wants revenge. And we get the story, although it does kind of feel like there's still elements that are left to be revealed, like exactly what went down, why this guy stole these gold coins, or silver coins rather, that silver is the key focus of it all. So there's still some questions to be answered there. Meanwhile, Damien ends up interacting with the undesirables again. What are they called?
The irregulars.
The irregulars, that's them.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, we followed that guy home after that last action set piece last issue. Do you want to know where he went? And Robin's like, yeah, take me there. And we find where he's been staying, and there's like the letters that he's been writing to his dead son and all these other things. But most importantly, the letter that says the address of where Wesker is, and he tells Batman this and can enter, and Batman's like, not now, Robin, but he's like, no, seriously, you need to know about this. Like, he's got the address of, like, he's got this address, and then Batman's like, shit, that's where Wesker is, get there now. So both Batman and Robin are on their way, and we see Wesker finally in this issue, and he's tied up with the lady that's been looking after him, and they're trying to break out of their chairs, and it feels like this is counting down to the Quiet Man coming in and like seeing them. And once he gets in, though, we get like a little cliffhanger here for the end of this scene where there's no one around, but he sees the chairs that have been broken out of, but he looks down and sees something, and he's shocked by it. And this intercuts with like panels of Wesker and the woman like hiding in a closet somewhere. But then Batman and Robin arrive, and the place blows up, right? This has been rigged to explode. Sorry, not rigged to explode. There's a guy with a rocket launcher from one of the gangs.
An RPG.
Yeah, to make sure that the Quiet Man's been killed, and like, hey, we got him. So Batman rushes in with Robin. Robin takes out Quiet Man, and Batman goes looking. But then he finds something. The big shocking twist of the issue is that the woman who was taking care of Wesker is lying there dead and wrapped in bandages. And she's been dead for at least a week. And the reveal is that Wesker's been talking to a version of her in his mind. And even when Batman was on the phone to her, it was Wesker with his ventriloquist skills talking with her voice. And then the final page makes it clear, just in case you don't get it, that he's running down the street talking to her. Suddenly she's got the G's instead of the B's in her speech. And then the guy who's like sitting outside his house talking to someone on the phone, he's like, some guy's talking to himself. And you see that he's on his own in the last panel. And I'm like, that's a fun little twist. That he's actually been off the deep end for a while and he's killed someone already. That's pretty good. Makes him quite intimidating in a sort of creepy way.
Yeah, because unsuspecting. Yeah, so when the body's wrapped up like that, I go, wait a minute, this is one of Bruce's people. Like, it's not just that easy, right? Bruce would know. And then when I see them running through here, I was like, well, then who's this lady? If that's Bruce's person, if that was the person that was keeping an eye on Wesker, who's this? And then when she says, I got a gig surprise for you, I went, oh no, this is a Scarface persona. And then you get the panel of him running down the street by himself. And I was like, oh man, Philip Kennedy Johnson, masterful turn.
Yeah, for me, the last page just confirmed it. As soon as Robin said, "Then who have you been talking to?" It clicked for me. I'm like, oh, I get it. He's just been talking in her voice, and he's projecting in the same way that he used to project Scarface. He's projecting her now instead. Maybe she'll start to turn into Scarface now, but at the very least, this is what he's been doing. So, it's that super kind of like unhinged, like creepy kind of like guy, as opposed to like, he's not the Joker, but this is like a very kind of like, he's going to believe something that puts you in danger, even if it's not the case, right? It's this separate personality.
And then you have to think that all those pages that we saw of them wrapped up in the house, right? They were tied together, and they break free and then they go to hide. You know what I mean? Like, he's experienced all that still. Like what,
Yeah, but
what is going on there?
It's interesting though, she's the one talking him through that though, and saying, hey, try and do this to break free. I did it, see, it's easy. So once again, it's the voice that he's listening to from his own head that's actually like getting him through situations. And
we always feel like it's Scarface is the bad persona, right? And Wesker's the one that gets, put down or whatever. And this seems like this voice is building him up, which I would feel is even more dangerous, right? Because like it's an unchained Wesker now. Like, what is he capable of? And yeah, just that whole sequence was fantastic. And then we get a little bit more backstory on the Quiet Man and his son, and they're from somewhere in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and that's why the silver comes in, because there was a church they were a part of that fully believes like violence can be justified as kind of an act of service in the name of religion, and it's because of that belief that now he needs to get vengeance for his son, and so it definitely adds this other, like, this man's not going to stop, right? Because this is a full-on religious belief for him, not only was it his son, but this is what he feels he needs to do. And, it adds to that when Robin is like, no, these are letters to his son, that he has kept, so there's that driving force there too. But yeah, man, this is a real fun Batman book.
Yeah. I mean, I think when Two-Face is telling the story of like the deal that went wrong, and Scarface showing up as like a third party when he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, I think that is maybe the only part that like I didn't love, just because it felt a little, I don't know, just a little clunkier the way he was telling the story. That page or two. Yeah. As we're hearing the details, like, I felt like the details were hard to absorb because of how it was been told, as opposed to just like showing us more directly, I guess. Yeah,
and it's because of Falcone's guy flipped on them.
Yeah.
Right, and that left Scarface holding the bag essentially, because a car full of Scarface's guys went after him. Because it says when the shooting started, an old Falcone guy named Bradley took off in Mercer's truck. All the silver was in the back, so. It was almost like it was a frame-up job by Falcone. So yeah, it was one of these things where it made it needlessly elaborate, right?
Yes.
Where we didn't need it, but we got some really cool images of Scarface and Wesker in there with the red flashback style that we've been getting since Philip Kennedy Johnson took over the book, right? Very reminiscent of
the art here is pretty good. The only real complaint I have is that I do think Raphael seems to be drawing Damien a bit older than the other artist was, like, or even most artists for that matter. He feels like he's more like 16 here when he's standing next to the other kids. But I mean, it's a minor quibble because I think everything looks quite good at the very least. Yeah. So. Yeah, especially towards the end, all that stuff with the Quiet Man going into the building and then seeing the body, and then we don't know it's a body yet. Like all that stuff, I thought looked great. So. Really added to the reveal of everything in that last chunk, so can't really complain too much on that front. All right, what are you giving Batman and Robin?
I'm gonna give this a 8.5.
I think I'm just gonna give it this flat 8, just because of the backstory feeling a bit more elaborate than it needed to be, but otherwise, yeah, it was great. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.